With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Okay, let's unpack this. The Persian Gulf. It's often described as a powder keg, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this recent direct military clash between the U.S. and Iran, it's put nations like Qatar squarely in the crosshairs.
Exactly. We've got these sources you sent describing the immediate aftermath of everything.
I think erratic events, definitely.
Right. And our mission today is sort of to extract the most important nuggets, so you're really well informed about Qatar's incredibly delicate position here.
It really is delicate.
So the sources detail the U.S. launching targeted airstrikes. This was June 23rd, 2025, against Iranian nuclear and military sites.
Yeah, following, weeks of that Iran-Israel conflict heating up.
And the immediate fear, understandably, was Iran hitting back.
Retaliation, specifically against U.S. assets in the region.
And top of that list, potentially, was the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Critical spot.
Mm-hmm. And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is Qatar's position. It's uniquely delicate, but also pivotal.
How?
Well, if you look bigger picture, Qatar is, small, but incredibly wealthy, a peninsula nation. And it plays this very pragmatic foreign policy game.
Right.
It keeps strong ties, diplomatic and economic, with Western powers and regional players, including Iran.
So juggling opposing forces.
Exactly. Navigating these complex, sometimes contradictory alliances.
Right.
It really makes you wonder, how does a nation balance that without, falling over?
That's the paradox, isn't it? Because the material we have clearly shows Qatar as a crucial U.S. ally, strategically vital.
Oh, undoubtedly.
It hosts Al Udeid Air Base. That's the largest U.S. military base in the entire Middle East. It's a central hub for the Air Force, coalition operations.
And C&T-COM's forward HQ is there.
Right. U.S. Central Command. It's this massive logistics command control center. Operations across the Middle East, Central Asia, parts of Africa run through there.
Thousands of U.S. personnel stationed there.
Makes Qatar a key security partner for Washington, no question.
Yet, despite hosting this huge U.S. military presence, Qatar also keeps up working relations with Iran.
That's the balancing act.
It is. They actually share the world's biggest natural gas field, the North Dome-South Pars field. That alone forces some cooperation.
Okay.
And historically, Qatar's tried to be the mediator in regional spats, positioning itself as a diplomatic bridge.
Not taking hardline stances against Tehran, like, say, the Saudis or the UAE.
Precisely. And this nuanced relationship, it allows for open communication channels. But as you can imagine, it also puts Qatar in an extremely precarious spot when tensions flare up like this.
What a diplomatic tightrope walk.
You could call it that. It's a high-stakes geopolitical gamble, really. Every partnership potentially increases its vulnerability.
So, with that backdrop, how do these specific U.S. strikes factor in? The reports mentioned June 23rd, President Trump announcing Operation Midnight Hammer.
A series of precision airstrikes.
Against Iranian nuclear and military sites. Targets included Fordow, Natanz, those nuclear facilities, and various IRGC bases, missile sites.
IRGC being the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps.
Correct. And the justification given by Trump was Iran's provocative and destabilizing behavior, their role in the Israel-Iran conflict escalation, and alleged direct threats to U.S. personnel.
So the U.S. strikes, and immediately after, the international community just held its breath.
Waiting for Iran's response.
Exactly. Bracing for it. You had Supreme Leader Khamenei, IRGC Chief Salami, vowing, quote, crushing and painful responses.
Strong words.
Very. And warnings were issued. Proxies could act, or maybe direct missile strikes, potentially targeting U.S. bases in the region.
Which brings us back to Qatar.
Right. The critical concern for Qatar was, naturally, that Al Udeid Air Base just southwest of Doha would be a prime target for any retaliation.
And it makes sense why Al Udeid would be high on that list. Our sources confirm it's been explicitly mentioned in Iranian rhetoric before as a potential target.
Given its importance, yeah.
It houses the CAOC, the Combined Air Operations Center. That oversees all U.S. and coalition air missions across that huge Sea and Tamam area.
Massive responsibility.
Plus, it's a major logistics hub. Hosts loads of U.S. aircraft fighters, bombers, tankers.
So a very tempting target. theoretically.
Now, Iran mainly relies on ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, drones. Could they reach Qatar? Theoretically, yes. The base is equipped, of course. Advanced air defense systems, Patriot missile batteries, designed to intercept incoming threats.
But, and this is the grim reality, no defense system is ever 100% foolproof, is it? Especially against a determined attack.
No, absolutely not. So the geopolitical temperature just skyrockets after the strikes. Everyone's waiting. Not if Iran retaliates, but where and how.
Yeah, the tension was palpable.
And our sources show this intense speculation, almost chaos, that unfolded right after. Early reports started circulating, unconfirmed stuff.
Oh yeah, like what?
Claims like Iran attacks U.S. base in Qatar, or Iran fires missiles at U.S. base in Qatar. Even rumors of Qatar explosions or Qatar bombing.
Wow, okay, that would cause significant alarm.
It did generate a huge concern.
Which really makes you think about how information and, frankly, misinformation spreads like wildfire in a crisis.
Definitely.
So fast forward just a bit to June 24th. What's the official word?
Well, official statements came out. Pentagon, C8TCOM, the Qatari Ministry of Defense.
And major news outlets on the ground. Fox, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera.
All of them. Categorically denying any direct Iranian missile strikes or attacks on Al Udeid, or any other U.S. base in Qatar, for that matter.
Okay, so direct hit on Al Udeid didn't happen, according to official sources.
Correct. So what did cause all that confusion, those false alarms? The documents we have point to a few things.
Okay.
One, all U.S. bases in the region, including Al Udeid, were on extremely high alert, understandably. That creates tension, maybe misinterpretations.
Makes sense. Heightened vigilance.
Two, there was increased activity by Iranian-backed proxy groups, but in Iraq and Syria, not Qatar. That could easily be misattributed in the fog of war.
Right. Actions elsewhere get conflated.
And of course, you've got misinformation, disinformation campaigns. They always thrive on social media during high-tension moments like this.
The digital fog of war.
Exactly. Plus, there have been past attacks by Iranian-backed groups on U.S. bases like al-Assad in Iraq, so maybe people jump to conclusions.
That history could definitely contribute to rapid, maybe unconfirmed assumptions.
Well,
What about those reports of airspace closures over Qatar?
yeah, there were unconfirmed reports of Qatar airspace closure, likely just temporary precautionary measures because of the high tension. Qatar Airways flight kept operating, maybe with some rerouting.
Okay, so the immediate takeaway seems to be extreme tension, lots of noise, and maybe deliberate disinformation, but no direct Iranian strike on Qatar itself.
That's the picture painted by the official statements and major reporting, yes. The fog of war definitely extended to the information space. Initial reports were messy.
Right. Now, zooming out a bit, even without a direct attack on its soil, this whole U.S.-Iran confrontation must have significant knock-on effects for Qatar, right?
Yep.
Economically, diplomatically.
Absolutely. Big time. The escalating conflict immediately caused volatility in global oil markets, WTI prices, Dow Jones futures. They reacted negatively.
Investor anxiety, worries about oil supply disruptions from the Gulf.
Yep. Major stock indices like the S&P 500 felt it too. And energy giants, Chevron and others, they're watching this very, very closely.
Makes sense. But it's not just the markets, is it?
No, far from it. Think about commercial aviation. Continued tensions, even just the threat of retaliation, could disrupt flights over the Persian Gulf for a long time.
And Qatar's airspace is vital.
Crucial. For Qatar Airways, their national carrier, huge global network based out of Doha's Hamad International Airport. Any closures, any restrictions that severely impacts their operations, ripple effects worldwide.
And diplomatically, this must really challenge their role as a mediator.
That's a huge point. While Qatar always strives for neutrality, this direct U.S. military action forces their hand, doesn't it? It puts them in a really tough spot between a key security partner, the U.S., and a powerful neighbor, Iran.
Their future relationship with Iran is suddenly under intense scrutiny.
Exactly, and it brings up that key question you raised earlier, the long-term viability of this whole balancing act. Can they keep walking that tightrope?
So the overarching implication here is, even without being hit directly, Qatar faces these profound economic and diplomatic consequences. It really tests the foundation of their entire foreign policy strategy.
So, thinking about the long game here, what does this all mean? Initial fears of Iranian missiles hitting U.S. bases in Qatar, they proved unfounded, thankfully.
Right, according to the official accounts we have so far.
But the underlying threat, the potential for escalation, that remains very real.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the U.S.-Qatar defense relationship, it's still robust. Both countries see it as vital for regional security.
The U.S. presence provides stability, deterrence.
And Qatar values that security umbrella. They invest heavily in modernizing their own military, too.
So the partnership is strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the long-term goal for Qatar, and really for everyone in the region, has to be de-escalation, a return to some kind of stability.
It just underscores Qatar's critical strategic importance, doesn't it? And how vital diplomatic efforts are to prevent a truly devastating regional war.
Couldn't agree more.
The world's watching closely now. How will Iran ultimately respond? What does this mean for peace, however fragile, in the Middle East?
Big questions.
And it leaves us with something to think about for you listening. In a world where these global powers clash, how important is it for smaller nations like Qatar to keep up these unique, multifaceted diplomatic relationships, even when it puts them right in the geopolitical crosshairs?
Is that strategy being a bridge, not taking hard sides? Is that a sustainable model for stability in the region?
Or does it ultimately expose them to even greater risks?
It's definitely something to mull over.